Hey, it's Big Game James McCarty, sports director at Flag Family Media, here with Dragon women's basketball head coach Karla Nelson. Coach, well, I'm back for starters, so that's got to bring a little bit of joy to your day.
Yep.
Last weekend was a split for you. It looked like, from anything that I gathered, I watched a little bit while I was on vacation, but played some pretty solid basketball against Augustana. Against Wayne, it was a roller coaster that turned into a zone nightmare in the fourth quarter. What did your squad take away from those two games last week?
Well, it's really interesting when you look at the Augie game, the second quarter of the Augie game, we probably couldn't have played any better. I don't think I've seen a team that I've coached play like that in a very long time. We rebounded, ran, we did a lot of great things, defended. To end that game, I felt like we lost. I don't know what we lost, but intensity maybe. And Augie came back a little bit, but I never felt like they were going to beat us for any, in any way, shape, or form. But how we ended, we brought that over to Saturday, and I'm going to give a lot of credit to Wayne. I think everything we tried offensively, they just matched up with us, made it very difficult for us. Their length was very hard for us to score against, and if we ever play them again or in that situation, we just have to do a better job. I have to do a better job of getting them ready for that. I don't know if we could have even really prepared for the length part. I think the length really caused us more problems than I was, even expecting. I thought we could be aggressive against it and make them get out of it and go man-to-man. And if they have to go man-to-man, they couldn't compete. I thought we had a lot of things we could do, but in turn, you have to give them credit. And we're in a league right now that is very unforgiving. If each game has its own characteristics, and if it's if you're not ready to go and you're not executing well or shooting well or whatever it is, and not coaching well, you're going to get beat.
Trying to just
that was a long answer.
That's all right,
man.
Though. Dwelling just for a second on that zone, that fourth quarter against Wayne. If I remember correctly, I believe 0 for 15 from the field, which that's going to get me yelled at probably, but if I remember right, that's what it was. Is there any concern moving forward about playing against the zone, or was it just an off-night shooting, clean looks, things of those sorts? Where do you kind of sit on needing to improve, but then also maybe it just wasn't your night against the zone?
Well, the night before against Augie played zone. And, we were able to hit enough shots and attack their zone and get them out of zone. So, no, I'm not concerned about it, but do I think that we have to get better at it? Absolutely. We don't see a lot of zone in our league, so it's a situation where we're probably going to have to spend a little more time each week on the possibility of us seeing that again, because if teams want to do that, they can do that. But in turn, there's not a lot of teams that play that much zone in our league, and I know that. But on the flip side, you can't go 0 for 15 and think you're going to beat a lot of teams. It's just not going to happen. There's not one offense that is going to cure that. Like, you have to have players step up, be confident, be shot ready, which I did not think we were shot ready at all in the fourth quarter. I think we worked super hard in that third quarter to give us a lead, right, going into the fourth. And then everything that happened offensively in the third quarter just disappeared. And again, to Wayne's credit, but then defensively, we were more than terrible on the defensive end. And there's no excuse for that, because we haven't been that bad all year. So that's the only thing that was disappointing, and luckily we can correct that.
Hey, well, when you look at the opportunities on the road now this weekend, Southwest Minnesota State, there's a couple of players graduated last year, but they replaced them with some really high-level players as well. Against Sioux Falls, it's just a tough environment to play in for whichever reason, in that smaller gymnasium the way that it is. What needs to happen to be successful this weekend, get a couple of big wins? And I understand it's cross-division, but still league play.
Well, we have to move the ball. We have to play well together. We're going to have to get back to defending much better. In the last weekend, we also turned the ball over way too much. I think we averaged 19 turnovers, and going into last weekend we were averaging maybe 12. So we have to do a better job of ball security, valuing the ball. Each possession is going to be so important on the road, especially. And these two teams are, very aggressive offensively, like to get downhill, like to shoot the three, get out in transition. But in turn, I also think we can get out in transition. We got to make sure Terry gets some touches. But we have to be aggressive offensively and change our mindset. And we have to get some people playing better. Aubrey Morrison has not played well for about 2 weeks. She's a much better player, but she's also going through freshman struggles, and I understand that. And I also think that struggles are a great opportunity to look at your game and get better. Don't fall apart because of them. Grow. And Grace Mascoy has to play a little bit better for us. Alicia has to get off the roller coaster. One game we get a good one, next one not so good. So again, some of it is just some of those natural struggles that players have. But when you're counted on, you have to show up.
Awesome. Well, Coach, thanks for coming to your time. We appreciate it. Good luck this weekend. We're looking forward to it.
Let's get 2 wins.
Yeah, I like it. I'm Big Game James McCarty alongside head coach Karla Nelson of the Dragon women's basketball team. Have a great rest of your day.